Okay, so this is a continuation from the last video about how to develop a thesis statement. So we've got a thesis statement that I really like here. Let me get rid of these highlights. And what I want to do now is I want to begin developing an outline. So I've read the poem, I've annotated the poem, I've come up with a thesis, which is probably going to take some work. And if it takes you about half an hour to do all of that, you're actually in a good place, because this is a pretty complex thesis, right? And actually what you're going to find, let me actually just write the name of the poem in here. Behavior, actually we don't italicize these. Behavior of fish in an Egyptian tea garden. Just make sure I've got that right. Yes, okay. So what I want you to notice is that with this particular thesis, it's so complex and kind of long that it is actually an outline for my entire paper, right? So if you can arrive at a thesis like this, you're actually saving a lot of time for the outlining. So that's what I want to show you now, is how do I develop an outline, because what I've essentially got is an outline here in my thesis, okay? So the first thing that you're going to note is, let's look at the first part. In behavior, blah, 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 Keith Douglas uses a simile, which transitions into an allegory, comparing the white stone to a sensual white woman. That's my first point. Okay, so point one is uses a simile to compare white stone to sensual white woman. Okay, that's my first point, all right? With my first point, I need to go find some evidence. So I'm going to find some evidence. I'm going to go back to the poem. And I have found, let's see, a couple things. I found lines 1, lines 3, and I'm sorry, I've got this wrong. Yeah, 1, 3, and 9 has specific pieces of evidence, okay? Now, something you need to note about this outline is that for every piece of evidence, I'm going to incorporate a sentence of analysis, which means that I'm going to start with analysis for line 1. And if I look at line 1, it says, as a white stone draws down the fish, right? So this particular analysis draws my attention to imagery, the color white. So not only is it a stone, but also white. This represents to me heaviness and purity, because it is also some kind of, oh my gosh, what is this doing? Okay, we're just gonna have to deal. Fine, we'll do that. Imagery, the color white. Okay, so the whiteness is standing out to me. Heaviness and some kind of purity, right? It's got something clean about it too. Good cleanliness associated with the color white. Okay, so that's analysis for line 1. Analysis for line 3. Line 3 says, draws down men's glances and their cruel wish. So I'm noticing that this whiteness is what is attractive to the men slash fish watching, right? And it's kind of ironic because the stone splashes and draws their attention with its weight and beauty. So that's my analysis for line 3, and then my analysis for line 9. I am going to say, let's look at line 9. It says, a cotton magnet, an important fish. So that's just to confirm that the rest of the stanzas are all fish slash men, which I will analyze later, okay? But my link is, I want to make sure that I understand that Douglas purposefully comparing fish to, I'm sorry, stone to woman, fish to men, to create a moment of juxtaposition and tension. Okay, and that's my first point, and that came directly from this part right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight that. And you can actually cross it off if you're doing this handwritten, right? So then my next thing, I want to talk more about the white stone being a sensual white woman. Okay, so my next point would be point 2. I would say the stone slash woman has a sexual and sensual wool characteristic. Okay, I want to prove that. And there are a couple of lines that make me see this. The lines I see are 4, 5, and 8. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. And just a note, because a couple of people asked this. Actually, for the next video, you want to watch how I'm going to write a pill paragraph for one of these. So stay tuned for that. So the first line, it's for line 4 that I said, slyly red lip on the spoon. Okay, so what do I see there? I see a reference to a woman's lips, which is another form of imagery, color, and this is significant because lips are a sensual part of the body. The poet is forcing us to focus on this body part. I'm probably writing in longer sentences than I need to, but who knows here. And I'm sorry, I'm at analysis for line 4. So now I'm going to do analysis for line 5. Line 5 says, slips in a morsel of ice cream. Okay, so to me, and I'm sorry if I'm crass here, the diction for the phrase slips in seems highly sexual. Because we're talking about ice cream going into her body at this point, right? Highly sexual language to enhance desire of fish, men. We also have the imagery of taste here, because we can also taste sweetness of the ice cream. Right? Keep in mind that she is a woman that is eating ice cream. That's literally what the poem is about, right? And so we get a bit of this sweetness here, okay? And then analysis 8 of line 8 says, like 5, 6, 7, 8, along the table, carmined at the ends. So the word carmined is more imagery, emphasis on the red. This is a white stone with red accents, and the red and white juxtaposition call to mind purity and sensuality. Right? And that is an interesting tension. Those two ideas are almost backwards from one another. So the link that I might come up with here is that Douglas is reiterating and let me see here. Reiterating that this woman, that part of the tension of the poem, is that this woman is meant to be a sexual center of attention. Okay, hopefully you get the point, right? This is now the second part of my thesis. I'm done with that piece. Actually, let's do it a different color so you can kind of see. And I'm going to just quickly break this all apart. Amidst a school of Prish who represent men. You know, I can take care of this, actually, who are representative men. That's going to be another paragraph. Who incidentally are not white. That's going to be another paragraph. In order to demonstrate the pure disruptive beauty the stone has amidst a negatively connoted fish. That's going to be another paragraph. And then this will be my final paragraph. Okay, so hopefully you can see my outline comes directly from my thesis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pill paragraphs that I will have for this particular paper outlined. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole thing just for the sake of time, but hopefully you have the general idea. Watch the next video to see how we can take one of these outlines and turn it into an actual pill paragraph.